So after the date I had, I decided to go back onto my dating apps and see what else was out there. And for your guys' entertainment, you guys probably will not be disappointed with this. So a couple guys sent the same pickup line. Are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see. Different guy, same line. Now this guy was like, oh, how cute. He called me a dime. And then he was like, would you ever consider selling your used panties? Another corny pickup line, but at least it's not dirty. This guy asked if I was real or all filters, and I told him I'm all filters, because clearly I am. Then this guy was like, I want to nibble your ear and suck your neck and give you some chills like no man has ever before. I'm sorry, I'm David. This dude's like, I'm jealous of your heart. Say no more, fam, I know why. And this guy, you guys.
And this is exactly why so many women today, especially modern women, have such unrealistic expectations of what their actual level of physical attractiveness and sexual marketplace value actually is. And never before have I seen such an increase in the amount of 49ers that we have walking the planet. Right? You guys know what a 49er is. It's a chick who's a 4 who acts like a 9. And it's just sad, right? It's just sad to me, especially these guys who are messaging these girls, these guys who are DMing these girls, these guys who are liking all of their, selfies on social media. These are the same type of guys who are ruining it for the rest of humanity, right? These guys are ruining it for all of us, fellas, because there was a time, believe it or not, and I'm old enough to know because I've been, basically doing pickup and teaching pickup since the early 90s, and there was a time where you could get a girl who was pretty good looking, 7 in looks, 8 looks, maybe even a 9 in looks, and you did not have to be that great looking yourself. And I know from firsthand experience, I've had a number of friends, even guys I've winged with, guys that I've coached, very, very early on in the 90s that were not that great looking, not that tall, didn't have a whole lot going on in their lives, they didn't have a whole lot of money in their bank account, yet they were able to get a girl who was at least a point or 2, if not 3 points above their own physical attractiveness. Right? I knew a guy that I went to school with, right? Went to high school with, that was a complete dork in high school. He's a nice guy, I hate to say that, but he was kind of a dorky guy, kind of a nerdy guy. I actually dated his sister, right? His sister was cute at the time. I dated his sister my sophomore year. But this guy was, this was her older brother. He was kind of dorky, kind of nerdy, and I mean, I was always like, who is this guy going to end up, marrying? Because I didn't have much hope for him. And then lo and behold, once we got out of high school, he met some girl that he dated for many, many years, and I haven't caught up with him, but he might have married her. But this chick was, at minimum, a 9, right? And she was like part Asian and part white, and I normally don't go for Asian girls, but she was like super attractive. She was like literally the same height as him, right? And she was just super attractive. She would get hit on, whenever they would be out, but she was with him, and she chose him. Whereas these days, there's no way that chick would ever be with him if this was today. Because that chick would just have a flurry of dudes on social media and on these dating apps just completely pedestalizing her. And completely just, throwing themselves out to her, offering her the world where, this dude would not be able to compete. So there was a time back before social media where you could pull that off. You could get a pretty good looking girlfriend, even if you were average looking. Much to the chagrin of, a lot of the guys, the younger guys today who were not really adults at that time, or they were not born yet. They don't understand. There was a time before social media, before dating apps, where you could pull that off, right? I mentioned before I had a friend who was kind of a chubby chaser, right? This dude was kind of a chubby chaser, and he would get girls that, they were like in fairness, I mean, by today's standards, they wouldn't even be considered chubby. These girls were maybe like 15, 20 pounds overweight, but their faces were like always beautiful. He was like me, kind of like a sucker for a pretty face. His girlfriends always had like beautiful faces, and I was always kind of like, man, where did you meet this girl? She's gorgeous. Right? She's a few pounds overweight, put her on the treadmill, but she's gorgeous. And the guy would be like, oh, I met her at the club, or I met her and she was at this bar, and and again, if this were today, can't pull that off. Like his chubby chasing days are over. So I hope he locked one of those chicks down. But his chubby chasing days are over because of social media and dating apps, most primarily, right? Primarily social media and dating apps. And then you have society and mainstream media reinforcing these standards. Reinforcing this narrative that a woman could be a 2 in looks and she deserves like a model-looking guy. And it's just unrealistic. It's just unrealistic. This is why so many guys are single today. This is why so many women especially are single today and unhappy and miserable. This is what has been the result of all of these simps and orbiters on dating apps and social media platforms, just making these women feel as if they have gold-plated vaginas. Okay? And this chick, in this video, just by normal everyday standards, I don't find her attractive. There's no way I would ever approach a girl like her, right? Because A, she's overweight. B, she kind of has these like weird eyebrows. That's my own personal take. I don't like her eyebrows. She has kind of like a weird smirk that I don't really find attractive. And symmetrically, her face is not very symmetrical, right? Because they usually, there's some science behind this, like the more symmetrical your face is, the more attractive you are to the opposite sex. And there's actually research behind this, because a lot of guys will often be like, dude, well, how do you know that chick's a 9? Or how do you know that if the chick's a 10? I'm like, if she has facial symmetry. If she has facial symmetry, her eyes, ears, nose, everything is just kind of symmetrical. The more symmetrical it is, the more attractive she is. Where this chick, her eyes are a little close together. She's got kind of a big nose, and and who knows what else. Just based on what I saw very quickly in her little TikTok rant, she's not very symmetrical. I mean, I would literally rate her probably a 3 or a 4 in looks. Yet, look at her results on social media. Look at the type of response she gets from these desperate, thirsty simps. And that's what they are. Let's face it. These guys are desperate. They're thirsty. And, not surprisingly, these are the type of guys, too, that would, like, hate on one of my pickup videos or something like, oh, that's so stupid. So stupid. Oh, pickup art is so dumb. Yet here they are, like, desperate little peasants trying to beg this girl for her panties, beg to, like, kiss her ass, and, they're calling her a 10. On what planet are you living on where this chick is a 10, a dime piece? Because none of my students would be caught dead approaching this chick. Okay? None of my students would be caught dead approaching her. Much less would they be caught complimenting her and telling her that she's a 10, that she's a dime piece. She's not. Right? Instead, my students, I mean, they would never approach a girl like this, but if they did, they would start off with an egg. Any of my students would be like, dude, when is the last time you got your lips injected? Because it looks like she did some lip filler. What's going on with that nose ring? What made you decide to get the nose ring? They would have started off with an egg. Not all of these compliments. I mean, even if she was a dime piece, you never, ever, ever want to start with a compliment. It's actually, the hotter she is, the more you want to pepper in some negs. And the rule of thumb, usually if the girl's a dime piece or if she's a 10, I usually tell my students that what you want to do is you want to pepper in at least 3 negs in a row, right? And just kind of take her off that pedestal a bit, because she's so used to guys just constantly pedestalizing her and complimenting her and all this other stuff. So with this chick, she's definitely not a dime, but she's getting just a flurry of these thirsty simps in her friend zone, okay, in her friend zone, who are basically, telling her how hot she is. And obviously these guys are never going to get anywhere with her, right? These guys are just never going to get anywhere with her, especially the guy at the end who was like basically asking to perform a sexual act on her. These are all guys who need the 33 secrets. These are all guys that need to be in 7 months of mastery. Right? Because they would learn very quickly that is the last thing that you want to do when it comes to trying to attract the opposite sex. Okay, but it just makes me sad. It just makes me sad how many thirsty simps there are out there that this is their method of game, right? Their method of game is just acting desperate, complimenting the shit out of the girl, and hoping to get a response in return. And this is not how you create attraction. You know, this is, I mean, they're really violating the laws of attraction here by jumping right into seduction and completely skipping the attraction building phase, the comfort building stage, and just jumping into seduction. And usually guys who do that, we call them players, right? They're not really pickup artists. There's no art to doing that. These guys are usually what we call players, where they're just automatically trying to seduce a girl, and they're really just playing a numbers game. So they're really just, there's no skill to this at all. They're just really basically looking for yes girls, right? They're looking for girls who will just say yes to them, and they don't have to put in any work. They don't have to do any filtering. They're just looking for straight yes girls. And I've always said, the highest quality girls, the highest caliber girls you're going to get out there are usually going to be no or maybe girls. Almost never are they going to be yes girls. Okay, almost never are they just going to like drop their panties for you and just be these yes girls. Usually the yes girls are all the low quality girls, low hanging fruit, single moms, damaged females, much older women, basically women who cannot get higher value males. They'll be willing to settle for somebody lower value or lower class and, drop their panties for you. So, as always, guys, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of her little rant. Let me know what you think of my rant here and what I had to say. Drop those comments below. I always love to read your comments. Very entertaining. And I try to read as many of them as I possibly can. So drop them below. And so until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets signing out. Go ahead and smash that like button below. Also, guys, make sure you hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on my YouTube channel. More importantly, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel, okay? Please make sure you subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a ton. It tells YouTube that you are loving my videos, you're digging it. You want me to come out here to Vegas even more and shoot more coaching videos for you that can help you, educate you, and take you to the next level in life. Take you into a whole new dimension that the mainstream parents-teacher society never ever taught you about, never even told you about, because they themselves weren't aware of it, right? So please make sure you subscribe to my channel as well. And for you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months of Mastery, where I'm teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, the same exact type of women that myself and all of my coaching students are out there cold approaching and closing every single week. I kid you not, every single week, no matter what chaos is going on in the world, no matter what nonsense is going on out there, we are still making things happen. That is the absolute best way to support my work, by jumping into 7 Months of Mastery. And right now, the first month is only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons. It's only $1. And all you need to do to get signed up is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.